feel like Gordon Bombay would have taken his career to even further heights.
Everything's flashy, everything's cocaine, everything's
Fun.
Open wide for some soccer!
I don't care what your personal thoughts are at home. I care that you hate the Cowboys.
Call this college ruled!
Welcome back, everybody, to the Sports Experience Podcast. As always, before we begin, just a couple of comics here in Tucson, Arizona, discussing sports and cracking jokes and having a good time. Before you watch this video, make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe to all of our content on all our platforms. We're trying to get that monetization going on YouTube, so every little bit helps and be much appreciated. And Chris, we're back on the ice today.
Man, and we're talking about Captain America.
Captain from the blue line.
From the blue line.
From the blue
You're
line.
not wrong. I love it. We're talking Chris Chelios, who watching, like, obviously I knew Chris Chelios from being a Blackhawk, a Red Wing when I hated him.
Yeah.
But, like, looking at the way his career started, you're like, how did he ever make it? And how,
God, right?
It really feels like 6 months he was, like, on the verge of being cut to being the best defenseman.
Yeah. Oh, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like the journey, like once he's there, you're just like, oh yeah, this guy's been playing it like he's been in the league for 30 years.
Exactly.
But then you're like, it's the beginning part that's the most interesting. It's kind of boring, all the success down the road, honestly.
Because the beginning's wild.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
To think how unlikely it was for him to do what he did.
If you had told an NHL executive that backstory, they would have been like, full of shit.
Yes,
like, you're
exactly.
absolutely full of shit.
Exactly.
But let's get into the Greek freak, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
We got Chris Chelios, born January 25th, 1962 in Chicago, Illinois. Not Canada.
Nope.
America. Christos Konstantinos Chelios. His parents, Gus and Susan. His dad was a Greek immigrant and a restaurateur.
And he grew up working in his dad's restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
And he said that if he didn't find hockey, that's probably what he would have done, was just open up another Greek diner. Because he literally was like, when I was like 4, I was like stocking bottles, and I grew up even like cooking by the time I got up to like 12, 13, and you're like, yes, I could see that.
You got to know what a crumpet is to understand what a falafel is,
Dude,
Chris.
Perfect.
So, he grew up in a neighborhood where he had said nobody has less than 5 kids, so they're always playing.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, he's always out there doing sports.
The teams are full.
Teams are full.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking going on.
Oh, my God,
in
the
Chicago
Greeks.
during that era. Oh, that's right. He started out as a goalie playing hockey. I don't know if you saw why he started out playing as a goalie.
No, I didn't see why, but I did see that he started as a goalie, which always makes me think of all these guys starting as catchers.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you know what? We need you out on the field.
You're too valuable to stay here. Like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But starts out as a goalie because he didn't have skates.
Oh, and his mom took him to get skates.
So
his
mom took him to an Ace Hardware.
Mm-hmm.
They bought him discounted for $5, and they were like 2 sizes too big. So she pulled the old Hans from Mighty Ducks and stuffed socks in there.
wear thick socks.
With thick socks, Gordon.
But he said, and this kind of makes sense, where he said his dad thought sports were a waste of time, and there wasn't really a financial future in it.
No.
You know, it's like that was just playing. You're not going to make this your career.
You need to be making 30 different variations of lamb in a dark room, sir. You don't need to be playing that hockey.
Exactly.
That ice ball or whatever you call it. Foosball. But his dad saw how much he loved to play hockey, so he encouraged it over time, because a lot of the Blackhawks players would come into his bars, into his restaurants, and occasionally you would get tickets, so it's like he fell in love with hockey in an Original Six city and an Original Six franchise, which is awesome.
Yep.
And he goes, that becomes his life growing up in Chicago, and up till he's kind of in his first year or two of high school, and you're thinking, all right, terrific. This guy's going to be a hockey player. He's not going to be playing golf today. He's going to be a hockey player.
Exactly, because it really was this young, and he was also playing center at this time.
Yeah, he's a forward. Yeah,
He's a forward. He's small, and he's very fast, and he's like a pretty good forward going into, I think, his sophomore year.
And he can handle the puck really well and
Yes.
pass, which comes into play, I think, later. But
and then we see his
Oh,
dad
God.
ends up and moving the entire family to San Diego. And literally, I saw, because I watched a podcast where he was talking about it, he was just like, now, I'm not saying there was no hockey in San Diego. I'm just saying there was like the bare minimum of hockey. Like his high school didn't have a hockey team. So
you got all shades of water polo, but you're not playing hockey there.
And literally what he said, he was just like, my attention diverted to other sports. Like he was like, I was surfing. I was like doing all these kind of like California style things because none of his friends were playing hockey. Nobody was playing hockey.
Bro, what's this hockey you keep talking about, man?
We'll play street puck if you want.
What's a knuckle puck?
Hey, watch out. That's a knuckle pucker. Yeah. So it is an interesting kind of derailment in his hockey career, if you will, at this time.
Imagine going to like the happiest, prettiest place in the world and it doesn't have the one thing you're into.
Yep.
Oh, how soul crushing would that be as an athlete?
Really, though, because
God,
his whole younger life was hockey and playing hockey, going and see the Blackhawks, like you said, with his dad. And then they moved to San Diego and it just kind of like disappears.
Be like, I'm going to play on the beach volleyball team in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Exactly. Exactly.
So he graduates high school there in San Diego, and he goes to U.S. International University.
The only college that offered him a scholarship for hockey.
And it was west of the Rockies.
And it was west of the Rocks.
Then he's cut from the team.
So I found this to be interesting. At this point, I believe he's like 5'8", and he's like 180 pounds. So, or even maybe a little less. Like he really was small guy for even like this level of hockey.
And he's not like Theo Fleury fast.
No,
agile.
Yes.
Like he's fast enough to play in the NHL, but he's not enough to make up for that lack of girth, size.
Whoa. But, and then we see him, I believe he tries out for 2 Canadian junior teams. And in this time in which, when he's trying out, this is literally what they said was he was training so much because he kept getting cut. So he got cut from his college team. He got cut from 2 different Canadian teams. He ended up growing 3 or 4 inches and putting on 40 pounds of muscle. So, like, when you think about that, it's like, oh, he really did hit that last growth spurt.
Oh, yeah.
Became big enough to compete with these guys, and he was still fast.
Which, that was what I always thought was crazy, is he retained that speed.
Yes.
And he retained that puck handling.
Oh,
because in Moose Jaw, they move him to defenseman.
Yep.
So
did you hear about the Moose Jaw? He had a friend from I believe it was his college friend. And they said, hey, Moose Jaw's looking for some guys. They're doing really bad. And the owner called him and was like, what kind of player are you? And he said, I'm like a forward center, and the guy was like, we're not really looking for forwards or centers, but we would love to have you come out. And Chris literally was like, that's great. I can't buy my own plane ticket. I don't have that money. So if you buy me a plane ticket, I'll come play any position you want. And the guy was like, no. And then they literally lost 3 consecutive games. And the owner called him back and he goes, I'm going to buy the plane ticket and you're going to come play defense for us. And it was like, okay.
Come to Saskatchewan. Be magically whisked away
to the... God. Where you will play beach volleyball.
In
Saskatchewan. For the Moose Jaw Knuckles.
The Moose Jaw Knucklers. The Knuckler Pucks.
The Knuckler Pucks.
How is that not their freaking mascot?
Oh, my God.
Well, that was a pretty good spike, eh?
Oh.
So... in 2 seasons, he has 131 points. Like, he's not Paul Coffey at the blue line scoring goals, but he's like an assist machine.
Yes.
Back there. So, after those 2 years, though, his parents kind of get on him and want him to go to college. And, because, like, if you're really going to take that 30 Shades of Lamb to the next level, you got to go to college from the business perspective.
That's true.
But in 1981, before he decides to go... There's the NHL Draft.
And Montreal comes in and they said, this guy's in, because obviously back then a lot of teams were just scouting their backyards. Montreal was scouting a ton in Canada, that kind of shit. And they were like, this guy could be like a really good defenseman. We should draft him now. And it was a great draft pick.
He is no snow frog, but he is good back there. So this is a stacked draft. I did want to add Hall of Famers Dale Hawerchuk, Ron Francis, a guy we did an episode on, Grant Fuhrer.
Oh, he was in this?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Al McGinnis and Mike Vernon. So he goes in the second round, 40th overall to the Habs. But when choosing his college, you want to go to North Dakota first. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you read anything about that, but one of his, rivals from this Canadian League team joined him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And played the same position and everything. He had called the coach about that. He's like, I don't think I want to come here. And the coach was like, no, it's chill. You don't have to. Like, it wasn't like a big thing where it was like, oh, you made an agreement or anything like that. He's just like, no, I'll release you from whatever.
Yeah.
So he goes to Wisconsin. And I think if you're Montreal and you're watching what he does there, you're just like, well, that was a really good choice.
Yes.
Like, oh, that worked out great for us. Just please don't get hurt. So he goes to Wisconsin. Bob Johnson's the coach. He later won the Penguins' first cup, actually, down the road.
Interesting.
Yeah, and his assistant coach was actually recruiting Chelios when he played high school in Illinois.
Oh.
He said, I just didn't know what happened to him.
That's so...
Like, he went into the abyss and then just came back.
And then he was just like, I remember that guy.
Chris
He plays
Chelios.
defense now.
Didn't he die in a car wreck? No.
Yeah, exactly.
But so his first year there, what was his name? Grant Stanbrook. That was the assistant. And he mentored him as a defenseman. So his first year, he leads the country in assists, and they lose the title game to North Dakota. And then he's captain of the under-20 juniors.
Yep.
This is in 83 and then 84. And then in 84, he not only plays in the Olympics, they win the national championship for college hockey.
For college hockey. And then that's when you kind of see Montreal be like, because Montreal's a bit of a veteran team at this time.
He's talked about like how lucky he was to go there.
And he
with
gets
all the people in place.
Yes. And he gets brought up to actually start for the Canadiens.
The Canadiens.
And like you said, I don't think he could have had a better first couple of years in the league.
Oh, yeah. He's out the gate great.
Because he's also said this. He was like, when I was a freshman in high school, we won a championship. I think they won like the state championship.
Yeah.
And then he was like, when I was in Moose Jaw, we won a Canadian maple syrup
We won a
championship.
knuckle cup?
Yes, exactly.
Knuckle cup.
But then he said, when I went to Wisconsin, we won the national championship. And then he goes to Montreal on this stacked team. And he said just like the environment of winning was always, he felt like, around him.
Yeah, they're like the Yankees.
Yes.
They're the Yankees of hockey at their highest point. So that first year that he's there, he gets there late in the year, 83, 84. I think he has 2 assists in the regular season, plays on about 8 to 10 games. He's on that Canadiens team for the Good Friday Massacre. Mm-hmm. He's going to the bottom. Like, he's duking it out with all those which is like, there's your welcome to the NHL, Chris Chelios.
Well, he said he felt not like out of place, but he wasn't good enough in the beginning.
Yeah.
And he said his first playoff game, I think it was like second or third period, he was on a power play and he scored. And he just goes, it felt like it all clicked in that moment where he was like, I'm good enough to play on this team, because obviously the team itself is intimidating.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, he's like, I'm good enough for this. I can actually play on this team and succeed in the NHL.
Oh, for sure. The following year is his technical rookie year. So 84, 85, 9 goals and 55 assists, an all-star. He's a finalist for the Calder Trophy. He would have won if Mario Lemieux wasn't the other guy.
Yep.
Like, they would have obviously handed it to him.
Mm-hmm.
And
NHL all rookie team, you know
everything.
what I mean? Like he really is this like top defenseman coming in, and yeah,
they end up beating Boston in 5 in the Adams Division playoffs, and then lose to the the Nords there.
The Nords.
In 7.
Yeah.
10 points in the playoffs. 85-86, he only plays in 41 games. In December of that year, though, he had a left knee injury, which kind of kept him out and was kind of nagging him. 33 points overall on the year. Then they go on a pretty impressive playoff run, I would say.
Well,
Nobody thought they were dead in the water entering the playoffs.
but they had a bunch of injuries going throughout the season, so it felt like they weren't like at their full when they like through the season, and then they kind of all came back into this playoffs, and it's interesting to see that because he said again because the Montreal goes on and actually wins the Stanley Cup this year.
Yeah, they beat Boston, Hartford, and then I think the Flyers.
I think the Flyers in the finals.
And then no, it was Calgary in the finals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and then he said this. He was like, I just thought I would be winning a Stanley Cup every 2 to 3 years. Like that was like what he was thinking. Like I won in high school. I won in, Moose Jaw. I won in Wisconsin.
I won in Moose Knuckle.
And then literally like 2 years into his Montreal, they win a Stanley Cup. There's all these veteran players. And he said this in this podcast I watched where he was like, I thought regular season was great. I just never cared about my numbers until we got to the playoffs. And I was like, I want to be on every power play. I want to, like, he was such an amazing playoff hockey guy. And this is when they had Waugh.
That's what you live for.
Yes, yeah.
But, it's funny, and we'll talk about this. That's their second to last cup
Yes.
that they ever won.
Yep.
And the next 3 seasons, though, the team's declining a little bit, but he's awesome. He's become one of the best defensemen in the NHL over the next 3 seasons.
And the team's on a downward slope, and this is what a lot of people, because we'll get into it, but like it's not a bad trade, but at the same time, it's like one of those things where I imagine if you're a Montreal fan, you were like, this is going to be our number 1 defenseman for years.
It's not Patrick Waugh bad,
No,
but
that was
not good.
It's not great.
Yeah. So from 86 to 89, he has 46 goals, a career high 20 and 87 and 88, 132 assists. He wins the Norris Trophy, his first Norris Trophy in 88-89 as the league's best defenseman. Career high 73 points in 80 games. They runs into a bit of controversy in the playoffs
Against Philly.
Hitting Brian Propp.
Yep.
And I love his response though. Sorry, I'm not sorry. I take those types of hits all the time.
Well, it's kind of interesting.
Game 6.
He was asked about it, and he was just like, and he missed a couple of games, and Chris goes, missed a couple of games. He was in the hospital for a week.
Yeah.
So he and this was looked at as a bit of a dirty play. Elbowed him, and the guy fell into like the side railing that was like kind of sticks out, and he got a serious concussion. And then the goalie of Philly,
Ron Hextall is a maniac.
Tried to get revenge in Game 6, and he just literally like attacked him, and they suspended him for 12 games. Chelios didn't even get a penalty for this hit he put on Propp.
We got to do a Hextall episode.
Yeah,
because you know what else he was a part of too? The Lindros trade.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna be a
good
good one. So they make the cup that year. They end up losing though to Calgary in 88.
Oh, in 88, yes.
89. So 89-90, he only plays in 53 games. He's an all-star, and I did want to add, he's a co-captain in 89-90 for Montreal, and that's pretty important because he's the first not Canadian to do it.
Yep.
I think that's pretty awesome.
It's pretty huge.
I mean, you could be like the first guy that invented delivering people
pizzas to people's houses.
That's right.
Or the guy that invented crack. Revenge for hire business. Oh, God. So, 19...
Is that a dead hooker? All these trunks are filled with dead hookers.
I've never seen so many dead hookers in all my life.
God knows I have.
Oh, God. Rest in peace, Norm. After that season, though, during the summer, he has a little bit of luck happen his way, I would say. He has some good things that happened to him. June 29th, 1990, he is traded, as we discussed.
Okay, so I saw one article on this.
Okay.
And I just couldn't find anything else on it. The day after the day before he was traded to the Blackhawks, the rumor came out that he was hammered at a bar. He fought 2 cops.
Yes, I saw that. Mm-hmm.
And I saw one article on this because he never got charged for anything.
He was just being a hockey player.
He was just being a hockey player out there. And then the next day, Montreal trades him to the Blackhawks for a center because they felt like they needed a top center who was it? I forgot who he got traded for.
Let's see. Denis Savard.
Yep.
And here's the thing. He almost went to Winnipeg.
Yes.
And I would have been like, that's it, back to Winnipeg. That would have been terrible. This is before Solani's there. They were just dog shit.
Yes, they were horrible.
Not to say he wouldn't have been awesome, but he at least went to a good team.
Yes.
And a place that that's technically his home.
Yeah, it was
say.
hometown. He said that he was just like, well, I grew up watching the Blackhawks. I always wanted to play for them and fit right in.
Oh, yeah. No, because this is when the Blackhawks is... we're not too far away from the Roenick episode. This is when they're getting good, where he's showing up, and they're not crappy. He was in Madison, Wisconsin for public urination and fighting 2 cops.
That's what it was, public urination. I couldn't remember what he was doing.
I think they call that the Moose Knuckler Special, Chris.
Oh, dude. Got to learn it somewhere.
No, it's just my knuckles. No. So 90-91, they win I think they win the President's Cup, the best record in the league. He's an all-star again, 12 goals, 52 assists. But they're upset by those Madonna North Stars, the one that made the Stanley Cup final.
Yep, Mike Maduh, we know.
91-92, all-star again, 56 points. And they annihilate everyone on the way to the finals.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Crush everyone.
They destroy everybody going all the way and then meet up against those goddamn Pittsburgh Penguins.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is running through the rafters. He's murdering someone in a Penguin suit after he does cocaine with someone in a pirate suit over at Three River Stadium and then going to Mellon Arena. I swear that's how that movie happened.
I'll tell you what. Pittsburgh sports in the 80s, you couldn't write those movies.
You had to wear a parka even in the summertime.
You had to.
Oh, God.
So the Penguins actually sweep them. That's what was kind of surprising was the Blackhawks were so good, and then they just get annihilated.
Oh, here come Lemieux and Yager.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I felt bad for those Blackhawks teams because that's that window there before Detroit gets good.
Yep.
And then Quebec moves west where it's like, shit.
There's always Trailblazers. You know what I mean? There's always
21 points in the playoffs for him, so that was a career.
He's a playoff man.
He's a playoff man. From 92 to 95, wins the Norris Trophy in 92-93. 171 points and an all-star those first 2 seasons. But like I said before, the team's kind of and he's, top 3 still in the league at this juncture of his career, 10 years in even, as a defenseman. Farthest they get, though, is the conference finals in 94-95, where they had a lockout season, playing for, what was it?
Playing in Switzerland or somewhere?
The Motor City Mad. I wrote Ted Nugent in my notes. That's all I wrote down.
I forgot what it was, but in the lockout season, him and some other players play, in another league, if you will.
In another league. And another time, shooting bows and arrows with Ted Nugent in the backyard. Come to my bunker, guys!
95-96, he wins another Norris, so he's the best defenseman again. And that's the 3rd time he won it.
Yeah. You win more than three or more. I mean, you're pretty fucking special.
Pretty good.
95, 96, though, this is the last hurrah because you got Rodick going out the door. Belfour is drunkenly making his way to Dallas. You've already traded Hasek to Buffalo a few years ago, so you're eating a shit sandwich as far as competitiveness because this was the Patrick Waugh series.
Yes.
That they lose in the conference semis.
Why do you want someone to eat poopy? I did it. I'm the master manipulator. Frank gets him to eat a shit sandwich.
God damn it.
I
did them all. No, dude, if you shit on our bed again, like, you can't do that.
Can't do that. Because poop's funny.
Wolf hair. Inconclusive.
Yeah.
How could that be inconclusive? Why is there wolf hair in your apartment, Charlie?
I love it.
All-Star 96, 97, and 97, 98. 96, 97, they make the playoffs, but they miss it the following season. And then 98, 99, 65 games, 34 points with Chicago. But March 23rd of that year, he's gone.
So I found this to be interesting. He's 37. He goes to the Blackhawk front office, and he literally said he was like, I wasn't asking for more money. I was asking for an extension on my contract because he was like, I felt like I had some more years in me. And the Blackhawks literally were like, no, we're at the end of this year, we're either going to cut you or we're trying to trade you.
Which is ridiculous because he's probably like, I'll take a discount if you put money into this thing and we're good.
Yes.
And that was just the way the franchise ran back in those days where it's just like, okay. And then I can't believe they traded him where they traded him, though.
Yeah, to Detroit.
That makes no sense.
Well, they must have really thought his career was over. Do you know what I mean? They must have been like, we'll trade you to Detroit. You'll probably play for a year and retire.
But, like, the man's rejuvenated around playoff time, and what Detroit's doing every year is not only making the playoffs, but they're moving on pretty far.
Yes.
Because 98, 99, they're going for a three-peat. So he's traded with first-round picks, and I think that's the other one, first-round picks in 99 and 2001, and Anders Eriksson to Detroit, which did not turn out to be a great trade for the Blackhawks. He has 2 points in 10 games, and they sweep the Ducks, but then they lose to the Avalanche in 6. But he stays with Detroit because they're still good, and, you have Nicholas Lidstrom and all those guys back there playing D. He doesn't need to log the types of minutes that he used to, either at this juncture of his career.
And he's pretty much signing like 1 year contracts every year and just keeps playing with them. What I found interesting was he was like, I want to be on the second line power play. I want to be on that, not the first, but like the second. And the coach was just like, nah, our team's just so stacked that we're not going to put you on that. And he was always that was like the one thing that he thought would have been better in his time in Detroit, because he was just like, I was still that offensive minded defender that you want on a power play.
Which is great, but like, did you see the guys on those teams?
I know.
Like,
that's what the Red Wings teams were so stacked. They were just like, we can't get you on there.
Like, sorry, buddy. We'll give you credit. Like, we'll still pay you.
I feel like the team was so good that it extended his career, because you're right. He didn't have to log those minutes. He didn't have to like be out there every really important shift.
Yeah, no, for sure. So 99-2000, 81 games at age 38. He's an all-star. He's an all-star. But the Avs come back and beat him in the semis that year. Kick the crap out. I remember that series. That was enjoyable. 2000, 2001. It's an ice season for him there. He tears his right ACL against the Blues in October, and they thought it was going to be just a minor knee surgery, but it ended up costing him the entire year at 39 years old.
Yeah.
Then he comes back the next year, 2001, 2002, and plays 79 games at 4. God. His plus minus of 40 led the league.
And he was, throughout his career, he had some crazy high plus minuses where it was like 38, 30. Like he really was a guy that made other guys make mistakes and he wouldn't make them.
He finishes second in the Norris Trophy vote. He wins a silver medal at the Olympics for this country in hockey.
That's right.
They win the President's Trophy, the Red Wings do. Beat the Canucks in 6, Blues in 5, Avs in 7, and then they go to another Stanley Cup final. Because he's got to get 3, right?
Yep.
Or he's got to get... No, this is second one.
This is the second one because this is 17 years after he won his first one in Montreal.
Yep.
And like I was saying earlier, when he first got in the league, he was like, I'm going to win one of these like every 2-3 years. And then he said getting back to that, because obviously he played in Stanley Cups, but they were just like never in those series. Like as a Blackhawk that time with the Penguins, he was like getting back with the Red Wings and us being like, we're going to win this. He was talking about it being like one of the happiest or like most fulfilling Stanley Cup victories that he ever had, because he was like, I didn't think this was going to happen again.
No, he was probably just like, oh, well, I remember doing this.
I remember this.
I remember this. Not everyone's speaking French, but I remember this.
Exactly.
Next couple of seasons, combined 40 points. Red Wings don't advance very far in the playoffs each year. They really, 2002-03, I think they lost to that Anaheim team.
Yep.
And then 03-04, I think they lost to the Flames, who had made the finals that year. 04-05, this is the lockout. This is where he goes to the Motor City Mad Dogs.
Oh, okay.
The Motor City Nugents.
Yep.
Oh, man. He, oh, God, what was I going to say? He decided to, and this is the offseason he trains with the U.S. bobsled team.
Oh.
So he can make the Greek bobsled team in the Summer Olympics.
Yep.
Which, plate-breaking runnings, for the love of God. Let's do it, Chris.
Where's that movie?
Where is it? Pete Sampras will be one of the guys in the cart.
Yeah, but does lightning run on ice?
Does lightning taste like lamb?
Oh, God, does it?
Jesus.
You mean you want to flash fry some lamb? Okay, we can do that.
So, he's captain of the 2006 Winter Olympic team during that span. From 2005 to 2008, and these are his 44, 45, and 46 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
He logged 34 points. That's ridiculous. They lost to the Oilers in 06. They beat the Sharks and Flames in 07, but lost to the Ducks in the conference finals in that year. And then in 08, he gets one more chance.
Mm-hmm.
He gets one more chance at 46 years old.
And becomes the oldest Stanley Cup winner of all time, which I don't think that will ever be beaten. I know Gordy came back when he was like 72.
January 8, 2008, he was the oldest guy to not named Gordie Howe to play in the NHL.
Yes.
Because Gordy was like, you said, 83.
Well, Gordy took some time off, and then he goes, I'm going to play with my grandkids. And you're like, Jesus, man. I mean, he played with his sons, but you get it.
My son-grandson pause.
Yeah, exactly.
So in 08, they win the President's Trophy and just roll right through the playoffs, and they beat the Penguins in 6 in the conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
And that was...
Which had to have felt good.
Not for me, it didn't.
Oh,
but
I know.
Then we're a year away from Game 7 and the heart attack. Awesome last minute of that game. But, he's a Stanley Cup champion for the third time. Next 2 seasons, kind of puttering around, and then by 2009, 2010, he's on the Atlanta Thrashers.
Yeah,
who don't they're the Jets now, I guess. But.
Well, he said that there was that feeling of like, I need to retire. I think his like daughter was like in high school, and he was like, I just need to spend time with them. And then this is literally what he said when he was in Atlanta. He was like, I can't walk away from this game.
No,
like that was his love of that game. Was he was like getting close to 50 and still out there playing like every day.
Well, it meant everything to him. That's what he grew up with. Like and I feel like that time in San Diego where he was like away from it, as I'm sure as much fun as he had to be like, God, I just want to play hockey.
Yeah,
I agree. Play hockey.
I agree.
So he's been working in broadcasting as of late in the food and restaurant business, but you're talking about top 5 defenseman of all time.
Yeah.
No lower than top 10.
No.
I mean, but yeah, just one of the all-time 11-time All-Star, 3 Norris, 3 Stanley Cups, Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I mean, and an interesting story because, like we said before, like you don't see that path to the NHL like that.
No, not at all. And like you were saying, like the one guy was like, I was scouting him when he was playing in Chicago, and then he just disappeared.
Maybe some guy with a van came up and we never saw Chris again.
That's
but no,
true.
Chris came back.
Yep.
He came back.
Chris Chelios, everybody.